Well, it was the crash that shook a community and had law enforcement mourning a brother. Good evening. I'm Jackie Parks.
And I'm Tim Callahan. The man accused of leading BPD officer David Nelson on that high-speed pursuit that ended in his death will face a jury. 23 ABC's Mark Christian was in court today for the preliminary hearing and is live tonight with more details. Mark?
Well, Tim, Julian Hernandez is charged with second-degree murder and 5 other charges, including evading an officer, causing death, and weapons charges for carrying a shotgun during the pursuit.
The only evidence that Mr. Hernandez himself indicated, I don't understand why someone died. It wasn't dangerous.
Now, the main point the defense was arguing against today was that second-degree murder charge, saying there wasn't enough evidence because Hernandez's actions weren't malicious against Officer Nelson, saying the charges would be better fit as manslaughter because Hernandez had no intention of killing Officer Nelson.
Most significant, Mr. Hernandez didn't understand how a law enforcement officer can slam into a wall during the pursuit. He was under the belief that law enforcement officers are trained in driving. They're familiar with this area. And for the life of him, he could not explain in his own mind how this accident was even possible.
However, the prosecution says there is enough evidence to convict Hernandez of that second-degree murder charge because if he had stopped when the officer pulled him over, the fatal accident would have never happened. Now, at this point, the prosecution doesn't want to say anything to the media that could damage the case.
There are things that I could say right now that would negatively impact the case, and given the nature of the case and the seriousness, I cannot do anything that would even hint at a possibility that could happen.
The court finds that it does appear to me that there's sufficient cause to believe.
Late today, the judge found all sections of the criminal complaint have been violated, and Hernandez will have to answer to all charges.
We disagree. I mean, at this stage, it's a probable cause hearing, so the judge is not looking to see if there's proof beyond a reasonable doubt on those issues. He's basically saying there's enough evidence that he can get to a jury to decide whether or not there's proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So we are disappointed, though, in the judge's finding, and we thought that there was a good shot that there would be an order discharging the second-degree murder.
And Hernandez is next scheduled to be back in court on July 27th. Jackie?
All right, Mark, thanks. The CHP